Every year, Coface organizes the Country Risk Conference in Paris. In 2015, it will take place the 27th of January at the Carrousel du Louvre. We try in this conference to deal with all the main subjects for 2015 regarding international questions, economics, political, and we try also to make a debate between people from the corporate sector, from the financial sector, with academics, in order to have a lot of exchange. The morning of the 2015 conference of Country Risk from Coface will deal with three main subjects. The first one will be deflation in Europe. Indeed, deflation we know is a key risk. Today we don't see deflation, we see very low inflation in the Eurozone, but it has a lot of impacts on consumers, a lot of impacts on investors, on the corporate sectors, and of course a lot of impact on the role of the ECB and the monetary policy. So this deflation subject and this deflation threat will be dealt at first in our Country Risk Conference. Then we will have a roundtable on a very important subject, which is SMEs in Europe. We have to remember that SMEs are absolutely key in the European economies. They are 1/3 of the total labor force, 1/3 of the GDP. So clearly they are at the key of the current rebound of the Eurozone. But they are suffering a lot. We see, for example, that in France, they are overrepresented in bankruptcies, in corporate bankruptcies, and of course this is worrying. So in order to speak about the future of SMEs in Europe, we will have, of course, economics, we will have people from the financial sectors, but most important even, we will have people from SMEs themselves who will tell us about their stories and their experience. The third subject is about innovation and innovation for world growth. We know indeed that in history, the growth can be very much impacted by radical innovation, radical transformation of technologies. These days we are dealing with slow growth in Europe, and maybe a new technological revolution will boost growth. But also we have to remember that when we look at the digital revolution, it had a very big impact on the retail sector, on the industry, and sometimes some industry couldn't cope, couldn't adapt. And if they don't adapt, they may die. So the pros and cons of innovation will be dealt with, of course, with people from the corporate sector, researchers, but also with a philosopher, Luc Ferry.